Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have had the time of my life creating content that resonates with every fan of Descendants and Zombies, and eventually, some way or somehow, manages to touch your heart. If you're a fan of Descendants and Zombies and you love these franchises with all of your heart, or you see heroes in Clarke and Freya Skye, then I think this could be the YouTube channel for you. Give me time, at least 20 minutes, and you're saying to yourself, hey Jonathan Clarke, I don't got 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a really long time for a video. Well, if you give me 20 minutes, I promise you I will give you a reason to subscribe to this YouTube channel. You have places to be, you've probably got homework to do, and you're probably watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube ever before you've done your homework. I used to do that when wrestling used to be on 5:30 every evening. Wrestling used to be on every Tuesday every week, and I used to always watch wrestling before I do my homework. So in the same logic that applies to Descendants and Zombies, I think many of us have gotten away with watching Descendants and Zombies videos on YouTube ever before we've done that assignment that's due tomorrow or finished a certain part of our homework that we never got around to doing. There's always time in our lives for Descendants and Zombies. I've loved meeting so many incredible fans of the Descendants and Zombies franchises, and I've loved touching your heart, because all I've ever had is that one hope that's forever and always existed and remained with me, that I would have a chance of touching somebody's heart who may have been a fan of Freya Skye and Clarke and who's seen heroes in them, because I felt the same way. From the very first moment I saw Clarke, I saw a hero in her, and many years later when I saw Freya Skye for the first time ever, I saw a hero undeniably in her. Given how far she's come and how much she's accomplished, she deserves all the praise in the world. And if there ever was an acronym given to Freya Skye, greatest of all time, is a conversation that I would love to have many years from now about Freya Skye. Because if we can have these conversations about Taylor Swift or Selena Gomez, who many of you consider the queen, then we can have these same conversations many years from now, regardless of how far away it is from ever happening, about Freya Skye. I've seen something special in her from the very first moment I laid eyes on her. She was filled with so much talent. She was so appreciative of every moment she ever had the chance to experience because of each and every one of you. And that was more evident than ever before at the Worlds Collide Tour. I saw so much emotion in her eyes. There never was a moment she didn't have a tear in her eyes, because she knew these moments were never going to happen again. They will probably happen if they do have leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour, but that's a ways away. But she knew these moments were never going to happen for her again. So she appreciated these moments with you. And you guys who have never taken off your Freya Skye hoodie, because many of you watching this video tonight are probably wearing that Freya Skye hoodie at this moment, and you've never ever taken it off. I felt the same way about Danielle Fishel's character Topanga on the Boy Meets World TV series from at least 1993 up until 1999, the year 2000. I believe the final episode of that series was May 5th, 2000. And actually tonight we are celebrating the 13th anniversary of the final episode of Victorious, which was a TV series I had a lot to do with. I contributed a lot to that TV series, and I believed in its cast so much. And now nearly 15 and a half years later, I believe in the cast of Descendants and Zombies just as much. If you're somebody who has never taken off your Freya Skye hoodie because you love her with all of your heart, man, I support you. And I get you. I understand how you feel. I understand where you're coming from. You know, before all of you came into my life, I was pretty much a loser in high school. Nobody ever took me seriously about wanting to be the greatest YouTube content creator of all time. But when I think about it, if Disney called me tonight and said, hey, Jonathan Clarke, we want you to jump down a rabbit hole that's been closed for years in the minds of everybody for the purpose of recording a scene for Descendants and Zombies, I would say, sign me up, man. Where's the rabbit hole at? I would love to be a prince in the Descendants franchise, man, just to give somebody something to believe in for the foreseeable future. Because you guys got to be honest, that Mitchell Hope guy really didn't come through for you guys, did he? I mean, he wasn't everybody's favorite character, and he was far from the best prince that you ever saw in Descendants. I think Jonathan Clarke would have contributed a lot to this franchise and ultimately would have went on to become everybody's favorite Descendants character. I would have loved to have worn the robe of the prince and, you know, been a part of the script to really bring this one to life, because I think there are never enough opportunities to, you know, really bring characters to life and show that appreciation that you would expect a fan to want to see from whoever portrays the character. I think the girls in Descendants deserve all the respect in the world and deserve more credit than ever given, because they were the ones that were filled with so much life, and they appreciated these characters more than the guys did. I got to be honest. I saw so much appreciation coming from Clarke and Freya Skye. I said, you know, if I'm going to say anything about them at all, it's going to have to be something nice. Because regardless of how these videos are seen or how much of a reach they have, there's always that one girl who thinks your video is cool. There is always that one girl who's going to love your videos with all of her heart, enough that she will hit your like button 1,000 times over and hit your subscribe button every single time. Many of whom have been with me from the very first video that has ever been uploaded here on this YouTube channel, and I can never seem to say thank you enough. Because as I just said before all of you, I was pretty much a loser in high school. Nobody ever watched my YouTube channel, and if it would have been some other guy that was talking about Disney and showcasing his passion because he may have been on the hockey team or the football team or may have made the wrestling team, which was very difficult to make years ago, everybody probably would have subscribed to him because he was showcasing his passion for Disney because he was thought of as the cool guy, the jock. But ever since I found out about Descendants of Zombies, you guys have been incredibly supportive of this loser, this crazy guy who's lived in a haunted house on the most haunted place in the world for forever, and you've been subscribing here to this YouTube channel. You've never cared how much of a loser I was. All you ever cared about was hearing my story about Descendants of Zombies, which I was sharing with each and every one of you. You know, there are people who create this content who have thousands of subscribers, but the more that I think about it, I don't think there's anybody who has as many subscribers as what I have, or believes in these stars as much as what I have, or showing so much incentive for creative energy. Every single morning before 8:35, I turn on the reciprocal lights here in this room, in my studio that I created over 2.5 years ago, and I start recording my thoughts on Descendants of Zombies, hoping it's going to have an incredible reach. Hoping it's going to find its way out into the YouTube algorithm, because as a YouTube creator, that's the only hope anyone's ever got. Hoping their voice is going to be heard and their video is going to be seen from wherever it has the chance of being seen. This YouTube channel, some way or somehow, was accepted by every fan of Descendants of Zombies because I believed in Freya Skye that much, and I thought Kylie Control was the strongest girl that I had ever seen in my life. Kylie Control is somebody who deserves more credit and way more respect than she's ever shown. So too does Freya Skye. And I believe as YouTube creators, and really as a fandom, we can come together and we can fix the issues about how people have been made to feel about Kylie Control, which she doesn't deserve to hear every night on YouTube. You know something? That's the reason why people like Kylie Control and Freya Skye don't watch videos of themselves on YouTube, because they're afraid of how people feel about them. Because they're just like each and every one of us. Everybody's created equal. The world wasn't built in 7 days, and everybody's created equal. And, you know, I had issues with them going home every night on tour buses, watching videos of themselves on their phone, because most people don't even use desktop computers anymore, and everybody watches them on their phone. With them crying all the time because they felt they were never good enough. Meg Donnelly is someone who takes great pride in her work, and is so proud to showcase her work for each and every one of us. But still, people feel she's never good enough. And as a result of that, she herself feels she's never good enough. But as long as she has the support of her friends and her fans and her family, I mean, what more could you ever ask for? I will be the first person ever to say that Meg Donnelly deserves more credit than she was ever given. So too does Kylie Control, because I remember Kylie Control at just 11 years old, wanting nothing more than the opportunity to work for Disney. Ever before she got a call for Disney, she got a call from Nickelodeon, and she was offered endless opportunities to create with Disney, to come to work for Disney. And she said, you know, I have to wait for Disney to call me because I don't really see much of an opportunity with Nickelodeon. She always felt passionate about Disney. So because her heart was forever and always with Disney, I think the more people who show love and support for her, it really does wonders for her career, because it gives her more creative incentive and really makes her proud to be a part of whatever she had the chance to be a part of. How excited do you guys think she was when she learned that she was going to be donning the character Red and bringing her to life for the Descendants franchise? She was over the moon because she had the chance to be Red in the Descendants franchise. For the first time ever, the Queen of Hearts' daughter, Red, was going to be brought to life by an actress who had gone on to garner such a significant reputation for being a Disney girl for many years. And I had never felt more proud to cover Kylie Control's ascension to the top of the Descendants franchise. Because while many of your favorites, Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, had closed the door on ever wanting to do anything in the future with Descendants and Zombies and believed they had told the story and completed it, Kylie Control wanted that story to continue. All she ever wanted to do as the character Red was paint the town red, and I think she had more than enough opportunities to do just that, while touching each and every one of your hearts and singing these beautiful songs like Red and Fight of Our Lives, which made up the Descendants soundtrack, which I think was one of the best soundtracks ever collaborated for a movie. I have never felt more honored to be a part of all these wonderful memories that we have created together, from the premiere of Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires to the Worlds Collide Tour, and how much severity it will go on to receive, along with a lot of recognition. because 19,000 people for 43 arena dates had the chance to jam-pack into venues and make the Worlds Collide Tour such a profound success. This never happened because a critic felt the way they did about the Worlds Collide Tour. This had everything to do with how passionate you guys felt about it. And I got to tell you guys something. From the videos I sat at home and watched on YouTube, I have to tell you guys, I got to give it to you. You guys really glowed. And you really offered something special to the Descendants of Zombies franchises that no critic ever had the right to take away from you. And many of you are going to feel that same way when Freya Skye headlines these tour dates for over 15 cities across the United States. I think she deserves more of an opportunity because having the chance to headline 15 cities across the United States is just one way of looking at it. But adding United Kingdom dates to the tour gives Freya Skye a chance to perform in front of her home country, which is something she's never felt more honored to be a part of. I just recently saw one of her Facebook stories where she had the chance to record a radio interview from her home country, and very few celebrities have the opportunity to actually go home and do this kind of thing. You know, if I was Freya Skye's manager, I would definitely give her enough confidence to keep on creating for each and every one of you, to give her enough incentive to continue to be a part of something so special. I would definitely take myself up the opportunity, if I was a member of the creative team of Descendants of Zombies, to get to know these stars for who they truly were. Because being asked the same 10 repetitive questions in an interview really doesn't show you a whole lot of respect for how far these stars have come and their contributions to the franchises that have forever and always held a very special place in their hearts. I would take myself up in the opportunity to sit down with these stars individually just to get to know them. And it wouldn't include me sitting in front of my computer or my TV with a piece of paper and a pencil with pre-written questions or things to discuss. It would just involve me speaking from my heart with an open heart and an open mind. Because when you speak from your heart with an open heart and an open mind, nobody ever knows what you're going to say. Everybody expects the least from you, and the thing is, that's what makes every video so fun, and it makes it that much more relatable for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. I have never felt more honored to be considered a part of these franchises and to have contributed my insights and my predictions about what I think is going to happen, and seeing such a bright future, because I've always and forever believed that the stars of Kylie Contrell and Freya Skye have never shined brighter. But even with how bright they've shined already previously, that doesn't mean their stars are never going to have a chance to shine even brighter. Because ever since we saw her on Wizards Beyond Waverly Place as the character Piper, we saw something special in her. She always believed in being involved with magic and having a hand in magic. And then she goes from being the character Piper on Wizards Beyond Waverly Place to Daywalker in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires. And what got me about Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires is nobody really ever wanted to give this one much of a chance. And of course I'm referring to the critics, which watch these videos quite often, because they're always trying to stay ahead of one another. But the thing that got me was nobody ever could make sense of what a Daywalker and a vampire was. It was a pretty dull kind of concept that everybody got into really quickly. I remember that day that Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premiered. I must have drank 5 slush puppies in anticipation of it because I was so excited about it. And you're saying to yourself, hey, Jonathan Clarke, drinking 5 slush puppies is really a lot. Are you okay? Yeah, I was, but I was just really excited about it. And I remember feeling so honored sitting in front of my TV, which wasn't a 65-inch plasma at the time. I just recently upgraded, which has nothing to do with me wanting to, have a 65-inch TV. It has everything to do with how I've always wanted to one-up these YouTube content creators who always create these really cool Descendants of Zombies videos. But many of you have been left saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, man, your YouTube channel is the best YouTube channel of all time. I've never felt more honored to be a part of these conversations with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies who saw something special in the music, who saw something special in the script. And when we saw somebody become a part of the Descendants of Zombies scripts who had something to do with Wicked, I think that's what got everybody so excited, because the same incentive that was applied for Wicked was applied to Descendants, and more people gradually fell in love with it over time, because nothing happens overnight and everything gradually takes time. Many of you have been wondering when Zombies 5 is coming out. Now, there are a lot of unanswered questions in terms of a budget, what the script's going to look like, and once that all comes to pass and that's all developed, then the release window of Zombies 5 Dawn of the Vampires will never be more certain. We just have to get answers to these questions, because you can't produce a movie without an unimproved budget or characters or a plot. There's so much work that goes on behind the scenes for this kind of thing. But I think that your Descendants of Zombies cast have been really appreciative of these moments they had to share in with each and every one of you. This year at the iHeartRadio Music Awards, Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampire soundtrack has been nominated for Favorite TV Soundtrack, and I'm fully supportive of that. I'm going to be front and center to see if they win this. I'm hoping they will. They've got a lot of competition, but that doesn't mean that they can't win it. Because the love and support that Descendants of Zombies fans have shown for these franchises every single time that we've ever had these conversations is unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my lifetime. I was a loser before Descendants of Zombies came into my life. I believed everything I saw on TV was real. I believed in magic. I believed in fairy tales more than any other guy in the world. And then people were showing up on my door every year on Halloween dressed up as their favorite Descendants of Zombies characters. And it was just so cool how I was able to resonate with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies. I took a shot at Descendants of Zombies, and I was very well received. And some way or somehow, I went on to become everybody's favorite content creator for Descendants of Zombies. I have loved every moment that I've sit behind this microphone every night in this chair, sharing with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies. I have no idea if I'm going to go down in history for having made history with Descendants of Zombies, but I would like to believe that I will never ever be forgotten. Because I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. I have never ever wanted to be forgotten. I've always wanted to be a part of something special. And I've always wanted to be considered one of the greatest of all time. And I like to believe that some way or somehow it's going to have something to do with Descendants of Zombies. You guys have put up with this crazy guy who records videos from his haunted house every night. And I have believed more than I ever have that this house is haunted. Given all the creepy noises you hear in the background, things going bump all the time. I've taken myself up the opportunity to live here, and I've never left since, because how else is one supposed to record his thoughts on Descendants of Zombies and share it with a global audience? I think that it's one way of talking about Descendants of Zombies, but it's a whole different experience when you actually live the Descendants of Zombies experience, and I've really had the time of my life doing it. If you guys are looking for a guy who believes in Kyle Control and Freya Skye with all of his heart, then I think you should look no further than Jonathan Clarke. Because I really have had the time of my life recording all these wonderful, relatable videos for every single person who has ever wanted to take a chance on Descendants of Zombies. This is truly unbelievable, and it's been an experience that I will never ever forget. Really a lot of fun times, because we have created something special for this community time and time again. Many of you are really excited about Freya Skye's debut concert, which comes out on February 4th, this Friday night. She's going to be kicking off her tour in Portland, Oregon, an area of the United States I'm very familiar with. I worked in Portland for many years on radio shows, and I've worked in many of the cities that Freya Skye is going to be headlining. So if there's one guy who knows everything there is to know about Freya Skye, then it's this guy here. Look no further than Jonathan Clarke. And each and every single night, I will be here out of so much love and support for Freya Skye every single time. I think that we can never show enough love and support for Freya Skye. I think we can never take this conversation further enough to really expand the knowledge of Freya Skye and how passionate she feels about everything. Because she's so young, but yet she still has a long way to go. I've had this conversation with many people over the years trying to make a name for themselves in the music industry and the entertainment genre, and it's very difficult to do it. But it doesn't mean that someone like Freya Skye can't really go the distance. Many of you guys are probably watching this video and you've never taken off your Freya Skye hoodie. And if you're somebody watching this video who's never taken off her Freya Skye hoodie, man, just know that I've forever and always loved you and I've forever and always supported you. Because we can never seem to have enough time to have these conversations with so many wonderful fans of Freya Skye each and every night. I look forward to this summer because the summer of 2026, even with how big the summer of 2025 previously was, the summer of 2026 is shaping up to be even a bigger summer. That's going to be so phenomenal because it's going to be Descendants 5 Book Wonderland's year. I think Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is going to take home many awards. It's going to receive many recognition, but along with the recognition and the awards, it's bound to receive its criticism. But even with it bound to receive its criticism, I promise you guys, I will forever and always be here taking bullets for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. I have believed in them with all of my heart, just as you have, and I believe that if we're going to have these conversations, we should have these conversations and say something nice about your favorite stars. I have loved having the opportunity to meet so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies, and given how many fans of Descendants of Zombies I have successfully touched the hearts of, there are still so many fans of Descendants of Zombies that I have yet to meet. So that means I got my work cut out for me. But even though I got my work cut out for me, with the moon behind me tonight, and it's a really beautiful night out there, that doesn't mean that we can't get there. And I feel the best way to get there is by getting there together. Because when we get there together, it's going to be a moment that we are really going to marvel in, we are truly going to celebrate, and we are going to feel more than honored to be a part of. Just last night, seeing Kylie Control attend her first Grammy Award show on the red carpet was an honor in its own right. Seeing everything Meg Donnelly has going on for her, changing some of her tour dates, it's really amazing. She's got 1 month left with the musical Rogue, and I've shown so much love and support for her. And if you've ever believed in Freya Skye with all of your heart, then I think this could be the YouTube channel for you. So you just might want to think about subscribing here, because I would love for you to be a part of this conversation. A conversation we will pick up from right where we left it off, bright and early tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for every video I'm going to go on to upload here on this YouTube channel. Because I've always wanted to give something special back to the Descendants of Zombies universe, and some way or somehow I was able to do that. I had the honor of growing up in the 1990s, a decade that Kylie Control is very fond of, the 1980s, a decade that Liamani Segura loves with all of her heart, and I've shared many stories with you guys from the 1980s and early 1990s, which I felt more than honored to have the honor of growing up throughout, because that decade you haven't lived until you've experienced the late 1980s and early 1990s. I have so many fond memories I've shared with you guys, and I have even more memories of being a fan of Descendants of Zombies and being very passionate about Disney, which oftentimes a whole lot of people could never make a whole lot of sense of until Descendants of Zombies' niche became a very dedicated part of my life. I have dedicated the rest of my life to uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies. In fact, the rumors are true about Jonathan Clarke, and I would love for you to be a part of these conversations. So if you have ever believed in Kylie Control or Freya Skye with all of your heart, then this could be the YouTube channel for you. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, because honestly guys, I'll tell you another secret. I love when somebody hits my subscribe button and affects the subscriber count here on this YouTube channel. There is somebody who never fails to hit my subscribe button and put a smile on my face. It makes me really happy and really excited to see that people are subscribing here to this YouTube channel because they love these videos with all of their heart. Thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, and thank you so much for having watched this video. It's been my honor to create all this wonderful content that resonates with so many thousands of people who love Descendants of Zombies with all of their heart. Thank you so much for believing in Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time.